Hey, friends, what's happening? This is Big Dog Ethan here at the kennel, and I'm coming at you with an interview with my good friend, Brett Thompson. Brett, how are you doing, my friend?
What's up? I'm doing good. I'm just making it. It's a lovely cold Saturday here in Arkadelphia.
Oh, it's a cold side. I have not even stepped out the door, and literally my apartment feels like a basement because I got these really I got my own thick dark curtains
Right.
from Walmart, for filming. So
Right.
yeah, I have no idea what it's like outside. I imagine. I thought I saw on the weather app it was going to be sunny, but honestly, I don't know at this point. I was not expecting that snow.
Yeah, dude, there was 4 inches on the grass at least. I mean,
Whoa.
the ground, the pavement, it didn't stick at all. But
Yeah, well, the thing was, so for those who don't know, Henderson State, it's a relatively small campus. It's a state-run liberal arts college in Arkadelphia, Arkansas, and the distance from my apartment to Arkansas Hall, it's it's the communications building. It's also where we have our theater program at and all that. There's a parking lot there, and it's a decent distance. So if I'm running late for class, I'll drive there sometimes. I drove to class, and then after class, I realized I needed to go to the library. Then I went to the library, and then I just totally forgot that I drove my car there. So I left that car parked over.
I do that every time I park at Arkansas Hall. I always forget my car's there.
It is so easy to do that. It's just
Yeah.
a thing. It's kind of far away, but not really. You only drive there if you're running late for class. So
Yeah.
yeah, it is. Yeah, I hate it when I do that. But Brett, so I guess you're kind of communicating. I don't even know. It's really hard to say whether or not innovative media is part of communications or not. I think it's technically its own program,
Yeah.
but it feels like what y'all do is so related to what we do.
Yes, it's inside the communication department. But yeah, I mean, all the classes we do are kind of like their own thing, basically. But our core is grounded in communications. I still take all the same journalism classes and all that kind of stuff. I have to take newspaper and news writing and all that stuff.
Will you be taking radio sometime? Radio practicum?
I really want to. I might take that next semester. I wanted to take it this semester, but obviously I'm streaming every single night.
Yeah. So the streaming, is that for a class or is that for a job? I don't think I ever asked you that.
So so I am a work study student here for innovative media, but innovative media offers different ways to do independent studies, and they really encourage you to take advantage of that, and I really have. I did one last semester, but yeah, my independent study or my special project for this semester is streaming.
Yeah, so Brett, holy shit, Brett, that is crazy that you're mentioning this to me now. Thursday, Thursday, this is going to be a bit of a long story, but I promise, this is incredible, actually, that you're bringing this up now.
Yes.
Thursday, I had a Spanish test, and right now, so where I'm at in Spanish class, I had 8 years of Spanish whenever I was in grade school, and and in middle school, it was actually a pretty decent program. I mean, I think we finished with conjugating verbs. I memean, that was basically all of our Spanish 1 class here.
Right.
So whenever I took Spanish 1, I was thinking I'm sure it's going to be harder than what I did in middle school. No, it turns out Spanish 1 was basically kind of a nice review for me. So I coasted in that class, got a B. And then Spanish 2, it's getting really hard for me because I was coasting in the first class, and because of that, I'm really having to play a lot of catch up now. And part of the reason why I'm having to do that is because it's been taking a lot of time to kind of start this whole kennel thing.
Mm-hmm.
Even just getting all the sound pads set up, and also I had to hang up. I can't wait to show you. I've hung up a blanket over there's like, have you seen like the Ridge Point apartments where there's like that alcove for the kitchen,
Right.
and you have like that, that table there. I've basically draped like a blanket like right in front of that table, so it forms like this little wall, and it really just cuts down like most of the echo in the apartment. So yeah, anyways, that kind of stuff I've been busy doing, and because of that, I think my grades have suffered for it. And so yes,
Me too.
yeah. And so so it was Thursday, I mean to say, I was sitting here and I was thinking, what if I could do this for a class? Like I could do an independent study. So I literally, I just emailed Dr. Farmer to ask him about that. So I think I think it's really cool that you've brought that up. So because I think I might try to do that with my Substack. How are you feel? Do you feel like you've grown as a streamer from doing this independent study?
Yeah, I mean, because doing it through school, like kind of you are held accountable. You have to actually get it done. So it was like a slight hobby of mine before, but now like I've kind of turned it into like my thing,
Yeah.
And school helps push you to do that because you're paying to do it, so you might as well do it.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, so we'll give some rare good press for Henderson right now. Look, what I will say is, I had the same experience with the radio program here. I took radio broadcast practicum, really wasn't thinking much about it, and the classes just, hey, you have to DJ 1 hour a week. And so I would do that, and I ended up having a lot of fun doing that. And I ended up noticing, like, I ended up discovering, I don't necessarily say a talent, because, like, I had done theater before, but, I was finding a way to, like, apply myself in honestly a totally different way I'd never done before. I had done radio broadcast speeches before for speech team, but I never we didn't have a school radio. I think we my high school shut its radio down like in, I don't know, like the 2000s or something. I'd have to ask someone else about that. But anyways, yeah. So I think that's actually one thing that at least Henderson's communication and innovative media program, I think that's one thing they're very successful at. It's just getting students to do the work. Same goes for the theater program as well. They have their theater practicum, where it's literally just 3 hours every week. You're helping build sets. You're helping set up the lights, the sound for the show. I think that's a very I think it's a great way to get students educated in certainly the arts, I think, and certainly journalism and this kind of stuff that we're doing. So I have also noticed too, you've gotten affiliate status on Twitter. Or not Twitter, Twitch. Excuse me. You got an affiliate status on Twitch.
I'm not that famous.
Yeah. You've got an affiliate status on Twitch.
Yes.
Was that like part of your class, or was that just a thing that you happened upon, or is it like
So that was my entire goal for the semester, was to hit affiliate, because when you make an independent study, you have to give a goal that you're going towards. Like that's the entire purpose is you're trying to reach this goal in whatever you're doing. And my goal was to hit affiliate, and I thought it was going to take me the whole semester, and I got it in February. So
wow.
To clarify, to hit affiliate, you have to hit 50 followers, which it doesn't sound like a lot, but Twitch is a very niche specific platform, so it's different. But also within the past 30 days, it's a rolling 30. Within the past 30 days, you have to have streamed 8 hours, which I stream every single night, so that's not hard. Stream 7 days, which I stream every single night, so that's not hard. But the catch to hitting affiliate is getting an average of 3 viewers every second you're live for the past 30 days.
Whoa. So,
across every second you're live, yeah.
Well, that's great. And honestly, what I'm going to, that one advantage that I think you have that, we at the radio station certainly don't have is this ability to actually monitor how many viewers you have coming into your streams. I mean, the radio, the most, this is hilarious because I'd be curious. I wonder if Nielsen's put out their most recent reports on like listenership on the radio, because whenever I took radio broadcast practicum, it was 2019, and I think Nielsen does they do their ratings every 10 years. And so it's 2019. They had last done it in 2010. And so, of course, our professor is going like, oh, yeah, like there's still money in radio. And it's like, well, yeah, that's from 9 years ago, dog. The studies, like the new study's coming up next year, and a lot of shit's happened since then.
Yeah, Spotify has blown up since then.
Yeah. So even as a fresh, so I want to be clear, like even as a fresh, I was always like skeptical of like, radio, maybe, it's a fun hobby, I'm sure here, but like for a job, maybe not. Right. Thank God for podcasts, I guess. But, so that's really cool that you're able to actually like monitor like how many people you have, coming in. Have those numbers like, do you know if your numbers have like improved since then, or?
Yeah, so Twitch actually, even though they're a very annoying platform in a lot of ways, they do a good job of showing you every statistic you could think of. So I can see how many viewers I had on any stream I've ever done, and I can see how many people chatted on any stream I've ever done, and anything like that. So yeah, you can see progression on Twitch's analytics. About a month ago, I was averaging like just under 3 viewers a stream. But right now, for the past 30 days, I think I'm averaging 5. So
wow, yeah, that's
so
yeah,
it's getting better.
Yeah, it's getting better, and that's really great. And what I like about it too is you've also found your niche too, and what I like about it too, it's an honest niche, because I remember you, I remember you playing. I'm a Clone Hero. I was already forgetting Clone Hero. I remember you showing me that game like freshman year, before the pandemic. So I'm really glad you've kind of found like a niche. I love playing Guitar Hero Rock Band whenever I was a kid. And it's just it's a shame that those instruments are so fucking fragile,
and scarce.
And that too. Yeah. Like I was talking with I have a friend up at St. Louis who was talking to me about his his struggles at getting what was it? I think it was a Rock Band 4 guitar, because Rock Band 4, it's weird because like it was good, but it was just so expensive. No one was like no one was willing to rebuy it. So now those guitars are kind of hard to get. And my friend's been dying to get one of those for a good price. He just cannot find one for a good price. So anyways, I think it's awesome that you've kind of found this niche for like for Clone. Now with Clone Hero, so is it an open source kind of video game that was just like developed by a community or
so it's 100% community led. Nobody at Activision or Harmonix or anybody who's ever been affiliated with Guitar Hero has touched that game. It's literally just a few guys who already made like mod charts for modding into other Guitar Hero games. They were just like, how about we make our own platform for this? And it started 6-7 years ago, something like that. The first public release was in 2017, so it's been around actually for like a hot minute. It's been around for 5 years, I guess now. And I've been playing it since 2017. But it's just, I think it started as like 3 people working on it. And I think it's still only 3 people working on it this entire time.
So with it being a community-driven project, how easy is it to like put your own songs into Clone Hero?
Oh, it's 100% easy because like there's forums for like people who've made song charts and stuff. Like Chorus is the big forum where people will post songs they've made. Because all you have to do is you have to have a song file and a file that shows where the notes go. And that's literally it. You only have to have 2 files to put a song into Clone Hero. And you can make those files on your own because, anyone can make music. So you can make your own song. And then there's software out there to make charts for Clone Hero. So literally anyone could make anything. It's literally completely open source in that regard, yeah.
Brett, just an idea that could be a lot of fun because like we, at the radio station, we have the rights to most every song. There are a couple, and especially if Clone Hero is like a community developed video game, if you want to come on the radio, I mean, I don't know how well it would turn out, but maybe we could find a way to go on the radio and like actually have you like broadcast you and like other people playing it. That could be interesting. Right. I don't know. So what? Tell me. So what about I guess the equipment that you need. So do you just need like a USB? Like what kind of like guitar do you need to use? Clone here, or I guess not guitar, but like controllers to play that game.
So it's actually that part's kind of complicated. There's only one model of any Guitar Hero or Rock Band controller that ever released direct to USB. Only one model.
Really?
Yeah, because they were, it was all released for console, so they were all like wireless controllers or like the PS2 port or stuff like that.
Yeah, well, what about, I think with the 360, I remember because the 360, I have a Rock Band 2 that was wired, but I think...
Oh, well, yeah, so Rock Band does have some other stuff, but the Rock Band controller is, it's subjective, but in my opinion, the Rock Band controller is worse to use.
I understand that, because like the strumming thing, it's very flimsy.
It's spongy, and yeah.
I understand that. Yeah, that's what I appreciate about the guitar. The problem that I got Guitar Hero World Tour for the Wii, and the green button started going out on it. Like, just wouldn't like respond whenever I pressed on it. So
right. Actually, I have the USB model right next to me. I'll show the camera really quick.
Oh, really? Yeah. Show it off.
So yeah, this was released with some 360 packages, and there was actually a couple Guitar Heroes released for PC, and this was sent out with them. But yeah, it goes straight to USB. But every other controller, that's where it gets complicated, because you have stuff like PS2 controllers, which are also very popular. You have to buy an adapter to go from PS2 to USB. And then it gets even more complicated when you get to like wireless controllers, because then you have to have a wireless adapter because they're not Bluetooth. So
yeah,
it's really complicated.
Yeah, I can imagine. Wow. I was just thinking about, because I was like having this moment. There's like I have a friend's uncle. I was hanging out at a friend's place. Their uncle was over, and their uncle was like showing off like an actual guitar. And I noticed that like you were just kind of going off to like show off your Guitar Hero guitar. I think that's like a huge difference between like Gen X and Boomers versus like Millennials and Gen Z. Like Gen X and Boomers, they'll show off their actual guitars, whereas Millennials and Gen Zs, they'll show off their Guitar Hero guitar collection.
Right. Well, I mean, it's, to people in that community, it's quite impressive to even own one of these guitars, because on eBay, those go for about $100.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it fluctuates, but I think right now they're sitting at about 100.
Is there any, like, do you think there would like be any kind of plans like from some like independent company to like start manufacturing like just a cheaper newer model of that? Because I would imagine this game, it sounds like there's I understand it's niche right now, but honestly, I think there could, especially if the more the game becomes polished, I think in the more songs that become included on this game, that like the more songs that people upload to the game, I would imagine like the more popular it's gonna get. Like I don't know, I've just imagined that it would benefit like the entire community if like there was some way for them to start like designing and manufacturing like a cheap guitar controller that you can hook up to your, because like we're already like we already manufacture retro controllers to hook up to you. Like you were talking about that adapter to go from PS2 to USB. Why not just start doing that? Like, is there copyrights from Activision and EA on those kind of controllers?
Well, so Asai actually Asai is like the top Clone Hero streamer, and he has a really good talk about this. Actually, it was in a VOD. I don't know if it's saved on the internet anywhere, but I watched it, and he presented that what happened with Rock Band 4. You were talking about how Rock Band 4 controllers are insanely expensive, and there's actually a very specific reason for that. They're more expensive than this guitar, and it's because when Rock Band 4 came out, Mad Catz was the controller company that made all the Rock Band controllers and stuff.
Oh, I remember. That's right. I
Yes.
forgot about this.
And Rock Band 4 kind of flopped. I mean, it was a minor success, but like it kind of flopped. And a lot of people were using legacy adapters to connect their old controllers. So a lot of people didn't even buy the new controllers. So Mad Catz doesn't exist anymore. That company went bankrupt and is gone because of Rock Band 4. So after that, then they enlisted, because they had only done the original run of Rock Band 4, like just a couple million copies or whatever. I don't know. And then they were like, well, holy crap, we got to have people to make controllers. So then they enlisted PDP, who also makes like third-party controllers and stuff. And they made like a one short run. They were like, we'll do this one time and then we're out of it. So they made like a tiny run of guitars, and now Rock Band they even came out and said they've knocked on every controller manufacturer's door, and every controller manufacturer has said no. Wow.
Yeah. I guess it was just from the. I guess I can imagine then why they would say no. But then again, I would imagine, like, say, like, I don't know, like, I mean, I would imagine there's, like, a certain, like, lead team of developers behind Clone Hero, right? Like,
right.
You know, I mean, could they, like, or were those, sorry, I may have gotten confused. Were you talking, like, were those the people who were, like, knocking on console manufacturers' doors to make?
No, Rock Band. Rock Band,
okay.
A name brand company, Harmonix, was knocking on these controller companies' doors, and they all said no, just flat out.
Wow. You know, that, I don't know. Something just doesn't sit right with me about all this. Like the fact that, like, because I loved, I loved Guitar Hero and Rock Band. Like, I think those were fun games. I mean, yeah, it was expensive and overpriced, but like they were fun games.
Yeah.
So, you know, and now we're seeing a game like Clone Hero come out where it's at least making the game available easily to the masses. I think it would be very important for some kind of company to just come out there and just be like, yo, we'll provide this controller at a decent price.
And there's some community work as far as controllers, because like there is one guy, I can't remember his name, he runs a site where every few months he'll buy a bunch of older controllers, completely refurbish them, put new hardware in them, put new motherboards in them, everything, and then he will sell them. But the thing is, to make a profit, he has to sell them for like $150, stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, whenever you're doing it by yourself, yeah.
Yeah, and they sell out immediately. Like they just are gone immediately. And
do you think
there's another side to it?
Do you think it's because of like scalpers? You think? Maybe?
What's that?
Do you think it would be like because of scalpers? Maybe people who like want to.
No, I mean, it's just a diehard community, and he can only make so many at a time. Yeah, no, these are like actual people buying them.
Okay.
And there's another side, which is 3D printing. People have actually made plans, and actually I started making my own 3D printed controller. But yeah, no,
I want you to come back on here to show that off to me, okay?
Yeah, I will. There's this guy on YouTube. I can't, again, I'm bad with names, but he was in high school, and he made all the plans to program, wire, and 3D print a Guitar Hero controller, and that's kind of seen some success. Like, people are doing that now.
Wow.
And there's a few other plans for that on like Thingiverse and stuff, but yeah.
How, you brought up 3D printing. I haven't even thought about 3D printing, and honestly, like, I mean, I've seen the pictures on HSU Innovative Media, of course, but I'm just kind of like, in one ear, out the other. Right. I haven't really, how, like, are those devices getting any cheaper now? Yeah,
no, 3D printing, because there are new forms of that are like the meta or whatever. So like basic 3D printing, you can get a 3D printer that you'd be fine with for life for like $200.
What?
Yeah. Just for like, I mean, you're not gonna do anything major, but just like smaller projects, $200.
Yeah, but like, say, like, okay, so you want to make like a Guitar Hero controller, then what you're talking like what professional equipment that's like $1,000 or something like that, right?
No, I mean, you can still make the controller with a $200
really
3D printer. Yeah, we have this at Innovative Media. We have this cheap 3D printer that's outdated. It's from like 5 years ago or something, and that's what I'm making it on.
Really?
And yeah, so It's actually pretty cheap to make those controllers if you have a 3D printer. Now, if you don't, obviously it's a $200 investment.
Yeah.
But it's only like, altogether, it's like $40 or $50 to make one of those controllers.
Oh my gosh.
If you already have a 3D printer.
Okay, Brett, I'm not going to lie. I haven't given more than 2 seconds of thought to 3D printing in like 5 years because I was just like, oh, that shit's just like ridiculously expensive. I had no idea it was that cheap.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
It's kind of like just a random everyday item now. Like anyone could do it.
That's cheaper than a PS5.
Yeah. No, you could get into like engineering and actually like prototype projects and stuff for less than a PS5.
That is insane to me. That is crazy. Well, my mind is doubly blown now. Holy crap. Wow. Okay. So Brett, I like talking. So I don't know where to go with. Well, actually, no. Another question I'd like to think. So if 3D printing is getting so cheap now, here's an interesting question. Might lead us into some more political topics. With 3D printing getting so cheap, like, I also think that it might be easier for people to like manufacture like a lot of like, you know, products that like maybe they would once need to go out to like the stores to buy, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people have done stuff like that, like, especially when COVID hit. I don't know if you saw this stuff, but there's such thing as 3D printing farms where it's just a warehouse full of 3D printers to prototype stuff and whatever.
Oh my gosh, really?
And there was a big push when COVID first started, because, you know, everything was scarce. You know, you couldn't find it. You couldn't find masks. You couldn't find hand sanitizer. There was a big push. Like, basically every 3D printing farm in the world was printing the materials needed to make a face shield.
Really? Oh wow.
So like 3D printing does like affect like the products we have and the world we are in already. Like it's not like a future thing. It's like we've already experienced it. You just don't notice it.
So
really.
I've just realized this too. I don't necessarily know how a 3D printer works. Could you give like the the dumb, I'm not even going to say the dumb guys because like obviously you've just kind of blown my mind by this. Give us the innovative college student media's explanation of like how a 3D printer works.
Well, I will say I'm not an expert on the subject. It's more of a hobby of mine, but essentially the way it works is you got a bed, right? You got like a flat bed. And there's an extruder. It's this little metal, like, think of like you're putting icing on a cake, like one of those tips, you know? It's got that, and then the plastic goes through there, the tip melts it, and it comes out, and that's it.
Oh.
The motors just move the head around, and it basically just layers the plastic on top of itself until it makes an object.
Wow. That is insane. So I'm going to say this. So, you know what? Here's another thing I just thought of too, because I hate the fact that, you know, and I don't know why this necessarily is the way it is. Maybe it's just because color ink for some reason is just a lot more expensive than black and white ink. But like, I don't know. I feel we've gotten to a point now where it's like color and black and white ink should just be like a normal and like even school printers. I hate the fact that I'm still having to resort to like black and white ink whenever I'm like going to the library. So it's just kind of crazy to me that like, you know, I can't get color ink at the library, but you know, at the same time, you know, it's like actually I think the theater department has a 3D printer as well for its for props and whatnot.
Nice.
You know, meanwhile, you know, innovative media and theater, you know, they got their 3D printers. Gosh, that is insane. Brett, that literally one thing I never expected to be like blown away about was the 3D printer. I'd always had the image that like they were kind of unreliable. Wow, that's crazy, man. And like,
and they were like back when they came out, like they weren't the greatest things ever, but now it's a real thing. Yeah,
that's incredible. So let me ask you this. So you're on Twitch.
Yes.
I think so I can't remember the specific. I may need to like look up. I may need to like go and post and like put like a news article up over this in post. So you mentioned earlier that Twitch has its own problems. I've heard a lot. So I've heard about Hassan Piker. I think he got permanently banned for saying the word. I may even need to censor this if I'm uploading this to YouTube now. I don't know, because I think Vosh got banned for saying it too. Does that, you're a college student streaming on Twitch, especially because of our youth, because we're just relatively inexperienced. Anything can happen. Does that make you a little bit nervous about continuing to stream on the platform?
Yeah, so, I stream for the university right now. Like, the account is under the university name. It says there's a big Henderson logo on the stream and everything. Yeah. So I'm 100% conscious of every word I say on stream.
Absolutely.
So it doesn't worry me as much in this sphere right now. Yeah. It worries me more, like, about my viewers saying things, and then that gets pinned on me. But, because obviously eventually I am going to branch out to a personal account.
Yeah.
After all this is said and done and Innovative Media moves on with Twitch. It is kind of scary because, censorship and everything like that isn't the only problem on Twitch. I mean, they've had massive data leaks. Like, I don't know if you saw, I think it was last year, someone leaked, basically everyone on Twitch's information, like every single person, like a giant spreadsheet.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, essentially you just had to know their identification number or whatever on the spreadsheet, and then you would know everything that they've that they have.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That is, that's terrifying. Now, granted, I mean, I would say that I think just about every website out there now has probably had one of these kind of instances. I mean, Facebook, it's it's at least every 2-3 years there's some major hack. And of course, Lord only knows what's going to happen now. Is now we've enacted all these, which I'm saying, I think I still kind of question whether or not we should have, cut Russia out from all of the banking systems, because that does affect Russian civilians. But, where am I going with? Oh, right. We have a larger threat of cyber attack, right? Of cyber warfare right now, because, Russia views our actions as economic warfare, and they've already been, they've used cyber attacks during their invasion of Ukraine as well. I mean, they used that to shut down a lot of their, electricity and infrastructure and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Where am I? Why? Oh, right. Anyways, point is, I think, that I guess that problem with Twitch, I see it as something that's every tech corporation has just had to deal with, and honestly, we may even be dealing more with it in the future. I think the thing that just gets me about Twitch is whenever it comes to issues of people getting censored or kicked off the platform, it's always for the most arbitrary reasons. YouTube, it just seems to be and I don't want to downplay this, because I think this is also a big problem. Usually whenever I see videos getting pulled off YouTube, it's usually because for some bullshit copyright infringement reason. Yeah. Whereas Twitch, a lot of the stories I'm hearing coming out from there, it's because I think you were telling me they're actually pretty fair about copyright stuff in terms of what you play on with Clone Hero and whatnot. But in terms of deciding what words are offensive and not offensive, I think they've established a history of crossing the line way too many times now. I think because I think Hassan, he got permanently banned off Twitch, didn't he, for saying that, or is it a temporary thing?
I can't remember. I haven't watched him in a while, but yeah, I do remember it was at least a lengthy ban. I don't remember the extent of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up here real quick.
But yeah, Twitch just they don't really explain everything like that super well.
Yeah.
Because there is an auto moderation system that you can have in your chat and stuff.
Yeah, I take that back. I think it was Dr. Disrespect who got permanently banned.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think he's been banned 5 times.
Yeah, for some, and I don't even know what the reasons were for that. I don't think it was certainly wasn't anywhere near what what Rogan, is getting in trouble for, I think.
Right.
Yeah. That was one thing I wanted to get your take on too, I think, because like I said, I know you're just kind of starting up on Twitch. And actually that's one thing that's like really, one reason why like I've really like, one reason why I've been such a huge advocate for the Substack platform is, because they really haven't had any problems with that. And to be clear, for better or for worse, I mean, you have, it's also a platform that's invited people like Barry Weiss, who is, a war hawk, to go into their platform, and unfortunately also do decently well on there too. It's actually a little bit worrying that like that's what like
Right.
Substack has become turning into. But anyways, that's one of the reasons why I really love Substack. And honestly, I'm kind of starting to wonder, we've been talking, you've been talking a lot about Twitch through Innovative Media. I'm starting to wonder if maybe the work that, I'm doing at Substack and by the way, KSWH has their own Substack as well. I honestly wonder if Innovative Media would want to get in on like doing anything with Substack, because I think I would consider Substack definitely Innovative Media. I think it's kind of a way it allows you to like format, it allows you to like kind of make sort of a blog, but very professional looking blog, like to the point where
it's kind of like a personal, it's kind of like a personal media site in a way.
Yeah, exactly. And like what I've been using it for, like I don't like the fact that YouTube, is what's the word? Devaluing or like basically like depromoting any borderline content in their algorithms. So like it used to be, I first discovered secular talk through a recommendation in my in the YouTube algorithms. That's not happening anymore. That's just not going to be happening anymore because YouTube is so afraid now of misinformation.
Right.
So because of that, I'm going through, basically what I'm doing is I'm putting all the videos as like unlisted links on YouTube, and then I like put them on Substack. Makes me feel like I'm, I don't know, sticking it to the man, even though I honestly don't think it's really doing much, but hey, whatever.
Right.
But anyways, Brett, so I think that was actually a very nice discussion I got to have with you for about 40 minutes, I think, about, honestly, I mean, the fact that I just learned about this 3D printer, I gotta be careful now. I may end up buying a 3D printer. We'll see.
Hey, well, if you ever want to come over to the house, I'll teach you how to use it.
Oh, that would be dope.
It's actually a lot simpler than you think, so.
That would be awesome. I'd love to do that sometime. All right, well, Brett, thank you so much for coming on here, and I'll see you around. Oh, and stay on the call, by the way. I'm just going to end the recording here, okay?
Yeah, you got it.